All right, I'm the Flat Rate Master, and well, let's talk about what to do as times get tougher. As I talked about in last week's videos, the economy is getting a little tighter. People are getting tighter with their money. How, as technicians, do we survive? Now, this is primarily going to be talking to flat rate technicians, but this is also going to apply to hourly technicians as well, because eventually the shop's going to run out of stuff for you to sweep and going to send you home. So this is all a lot of tips just to keep you busy. So let's talk about some of the stuff you can do. Now, a while ago, I did a video on my inspection routine, and I will put it whatever corner it goes. But it is a video where I go over what I look at, how I look at it when I pull a vehicle in for any type of work. Not real complex. I know a lot of people complain about the stupid check sheets that you have to fill out for every car. You know, check, 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 check. You know, but you got to do the individual checks, not the line, because, you know, that would indicate you actually just, you know, I digress. But let's talk about some of the stuff that isn't a hard sell, but could help you make a little more money or keep the lights on for your shop, your hourly. Obviously, wiper blades. Takes like 2 seconds to check your wipers. You know, as you're driving the car, hit the wiper washer. Oh, the washer system doesn't work? You need to notate that. Oh, the wiper streak? Write it up for wipers. Now, I know some shops don't even pay for wipers, so, you know, that is what it is. But if you're hourly, wipers can help generate some income. Lights, now here in this shop, especially tail lights, are real easy with the doors closed. Having air conditioning and heat mean the doors are always closed. But on the same note, you can easily check brake lights, tail lights in any reflective window. Just a quick little tip. You can back up to a glass window as long as it's not too bright, and you can see whether or not you have brake lights and tail lights. Do the same with headlights and turn signals. Bulbs are easy. Bulbs are generally, relatively easy for the guys up front to sell because they're not that expensive and they prevent you from getting pulled over. As I drive around Atlanta and see cars with, one tail light, one brake light, etc. The normal upsells. Check the condition of the drive belt. Now here our policy is, if it hasn't been changed in 5 years, a drive belt or timing belt is recommended. Your mileage will vary, but 5 years is always a good recommendation point. If it's been in a car for 5 years, it probably should be changed. Preventing a breakdown, especially if they're going on road trips. Test driving a vehicle, listening for noises. Wheel bearings, if they're making noise, we'll recommend them. We had to tell a story, which turned into a nightmare for James. Test drove a Sequoia, Land Cruiser, something like that. The rear end was screaming. Customer had no complaints about it. Upstairs, James noticed it, and he actually sold the third member for that vehicle because, well, the customer goes, oh, that might be a problem. Toyota sells the whole third member, by the way. Notate anything that you see that you might be able to get an upsell on. Oil leaks. I know, some customers could care less about oil leaks. Other customers don't want to have drips in their driveways. Always notate an oil leak. Recommended services. Every time you pull a vehicle in, you should look at the manufacturer's recommended service intervals for components. Spark plugs, coolant, transmission fluid, brake fluid, all that kind of stuff. If they're recommended by the manufacturer and not, BG, it's a legitimate service, right? So why wouldn't you recommend those? And a lot of times this kind of stuff just kind of falls under the radar. Brake flush, you got customers not. It's due by the factory at this mileage, how easier it is to sell to a customer. Not always, but it's easier. The normal stuff, air filters, we all know that kind of stuff. That stuff's easy. that, in my experience, those are probably the least likely to sell of anything. And, the most likely to be checked, which, I don't know why, especially cabin air filters. I mean, why would you want to? I always love the, side note, I always love the vehicles covered in dog hair. And you could pull that cabin air filter and it'd be caked with dog hair, and they're the last people to approve a cabin air filter, even though their car smells like wet dog. We all have those customers that come in broke down, but customers that come in for an oil change, look over their vehicle. Look at the vehicle's needs. Even if you don't get it today, you might get it down the road. Next time they come in, the service writer may go, well, have you done anything about those brakes? Have you done anything about those tires? Anytime you recommend stuff, it always adds to the pool of possible work out there. You may not get it now, you may not get it the next time, but you may get it a year down the line. Not too long ago, I had a customer come back 3 years later and get the wheel bearings I'd recommended, 3 years ago. The one was screaming. I still don't know how it was not loose. I did a very, very short test drive and came back, expecting to, go click, click. No, it was still tight, but it was screaming. Like their radio had to have been on 11 to not hear it. So make sure when you bring a vehicle in, when times are getting lean, is still recommend everything. I know it's easy to get discouraged on a tough week. Trust me, I've been getting my butt kicked for the last 2 weeks. Everything in this shop that could possibly go wrong kind of has. Perfect example. I didn't fully seat a oil pressure sensor connector. No, it did not get shipped to the customer. But I test drove it, fine. The porter went to go test drive it, didn't make it down the road, and the oil light was flashing. It made it so I had to come bring it back in, I had to test drive it again, pull back in thinking I, messed something up. No, I just didn't, I messed something up. I didn't plug the connector in all the way. But that, is kind of how my weeks have been going. I spent an extra 20 minutes that I didn't need to spend because I didn't go, boop. By the way, that was the CC. It drove out of here on its own power. But again, keep looking, keep recommending. Getting discouraged is, something that's going to happen when times get tougher. And keep looking for things that need to be replaced. Again, I said, by the way, need to be replaced, recommended to be replaced, not this will make me money. No matter how tight things are, I still will not go down that route of recommending stuff that doesn't need to be done. No. But if it's in need of replacement, I will dang sure write it up. So keep your head up, keep writing stuff up, and as always, thanks for watching. I am the Flat Rate Master.